House's number in their database and should call when you hear these bills. And if you don't hear about the Senate bills, comb the internet to find out. I mean, laws change every
Yeah.
January and July.
You can go to the
And you know what's great? We do have a female gay woman governor.
who is that?
I'll get you where she won. Oregon.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. Who do we have on the line? Hello.
It's a breather.
I don't know, folks. We're having some
Technical
difficulties here. Good old Spectrum, a.k.a. Time Warner, apparently has took us down for a minute or two. Appears to be back up now.
Well, I'd like to just say one last thing before I dart out of here, but I am truly enjoying my time here. The campaign every 4 years always has the same talking points. Have you noticed that?
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing is new.
No.
I mean, the sellable items are education, the
Abortion.
economy, pro-life.
Yep.
And that pro-life one always, baffles me because you're so interested. Not that
Yeah.
I'm against, not that I'm against it, but you're so, on fire for the right
Yeah.
of life. But then when the child is here, you could really give a darn about it. No one talks about the child after they're born. Education, we're still on the bottom of the list, right?
That's right.
We still have over 1 million children going to bed hungry every single night.
That's right.
Don't sell me the bill of goods like you're calling, Sky somebody was talking about, that we're all disillusioned. I don't think
Exactly.
so at all. I'm not disillusioned. I know that every 4 years it's the same talking points. And even under the Obama administration,
a lot of
nothing
them-
really changed.
I think they get a lot
Right.
of votes saying that.
That's what.
Well, yeah,
and that's
they're
all
paying
it
all
is.
it is, it's
And as
votes.
long as you recognize that the powers in the Senate bills actively fight for or against those Senate bills,
That's
because
right.
that's what impacts my life every day, not who's sitting in that White
read
House.
that?
Yep. And now here's the thing. When a campaign starts, there's a bunch of researchers and pollsters that are hired to find out what people like and dislike. I've used it in my broadcast career, focus groups, perceptual studies, et cetera, et cetera. So they find out what the base is interested in, what fears they have. And that's how they pander directly, and they know how many people are in that particular category, how many people are pro-life, how many people are against gays getting married or having a relationship or existing. They know all of this up front. Donald Trump knew how many people had fears of Latinos being here in this country coming across the border. They know what the
Why
hot
is it
buttons
just
are.
Latins they talk about, though? There's Russians.
Because they know there's a high hate level among white people.
Why? They're the ones that have them
Against
in
them.
their houses and
But,
everywhere.
But see, there's the double standard.
and my grandkids are Mexican.
But they don't care.
I care.
But I know you do, and I do, and most people do. But there is a significant number of people who feel like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and anybody that speaks Spanish that comes through the southern border are our enemy because they think they're taking away American jobs. Now, they are taking jobs, but damn it,
Not the jobs these people want.
there are American people here that are not applying for those jobs. That was a problem before we had 12 million or whatever illegal immigrants here. So don't feed me that. I don't buy into that. And if we can nip this in the bud very easily, if you start locking up business people who are hiring illegals from all over the world, not just Mexico, it'll stop. Lock them up, fine them, take their businesses away from them. That, my friend, would nip it in the bud.
It's not going to happen, though. Those are the people that rule.
But see, the politicians keep talking about, the problem, but they don't want to address the solution.
But they're the ones guilty of doing
Of
this.
course.
So
that's
they're
my
not
point.
going to.
Go to McDonald's.
This is like term limits. It'll never happen because they're not going to vote against themselves.
I don't
Congress
have
is
a
not gonna
problem
change
with
that.
it.
But
Well,
how about the citizens, getting their clipboard and getting their 600,000? Does it take to make it a law or turn it into a bill? 600,000 petitions.
Well, it gets
What's
it in
it?
front of the
It gets it in front,
Congress,
right?
yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing: we got to do some work. I mean, my generation, my parents' generations, they did the work.
Yeah.
They put in the footwork. They did the sit-ins. They lobbied. They marched. They
Yep.
lost
this
some
new
blood and
generation
sweat.
will be
we're
doing
not,
that.
We're not wanting to do the work.
The
We've gotten
millennium
fat
will.
and lazy.
Well,
and
they better get engaged a lot sooner.
this millennium generation will be doing that. They were already starting last night at different colleges.
Yeah,
They had the
I
police
don't,
come out.
I don't like that. I
One
don't want to
day,
see people.
Lee asked
get
me a question. He asked me if somebody came to me and he had a strawberry farm, and they wanted me to pick strawberries, what would my answer be? And he had asked other people this, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And my answer was something he said most people did say.
most people what?
Wouldn't say. I told him my answer would be if I didn't have a job and I needed money, I'd be there picking strawberries for whatever
Absolutely.
I'm getting paid. But
Right.
tell him what most people said.
Most
to you.
people say, "Hell no, I ain't picking no strawberries."
And then
I'm
they
one of them.
complain about different jobs.
I'm one of them. I did that one time with my sister. We were in Virginia, and she says, there's a strawberry farm. We go over and pick strawberries, and you do X number of pecks of strawberries for the farm, and then they'll give you, and she loved strawberries, and they'll give you X number of pecks. I said, okay, Margaret, let's go. I was like maybe 10. So I'm going. My older sister was 9 years older than me. So, okay, we're going to go pick some strawberries. Let me tell you something. I made up my mind right then and there. I was never going to be a freaking farmer. Not in my blood. I can't do it.
Well,
I'm not
if I
interested
needed
in that.
money, I would do whatever it takes to support
Well,
my
yeah,
family.
as an adult.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
Oh,
as
even
an adult,
as a young person, I would.
But a 10-year-old,
not
I'm
a
not
10-year-old.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about survival
well,
because I got mom and dad,
that's
and
right.
I got a roof over my head.
But I think we
But-
have, as Americans, excuse me, I do think we have become a very lethargic, lazy. We don't want to do jobs for good moral work in
I
itself.
would clean
we want to do
somebody's
certain jobs.
house if I needed some money. I would clean your house in a minute.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with that.
You
It's
know?
called
but
survival.
that's you and that's me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're three people here. But the vast majority, I bet if you took a poll and said, hey, would you, clean house, or would you be a gardener, or be a cook, or a nanny, people would say no.
Yeah, they're reaching for something higher and better.
We're
Yeah.
against the character of what it means to, just to do
and
hard
that
work.
tells you, then it gets back to they want to stop Latin Americans from coming here and other people. They don't have a problem doing these jobs. You can go out on a holiday and you will see Latin people out there with their taco trucks. You will see them selling flowers on the side of the freeway. You will see them with fruit. You don't see white people or even black people doing this but you see
Nobody.
Latins. They're the hardest workers around.
Yeah.
Watch the movie A Day Without a Mexican, and it'll show you how people rely on them. The woman gets up and wants her breakfast. Well, the Latin lady isn't there to serve you your breakfast. She isn't there to get your baby up and change his diaper. They could not survive, and it showed this.
That speaks to 50 and 60 years ago too. I
Right.
mean, the day without a Negro
Yeah.
made, right?
Same
that's
thing.
right.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But why don't we take a page out of the Asian population? Because, I mean, where do you see them when you think of crime rates? Where do you see them when you think of economic strength? Where do you see them when you think of education, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see us there. You see them there, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think the Asians, and especially since you say it yourself.
Yeah, in the next 20 years, they're going to be the majority population
That's
in,
what's
in
bought
this
up
country.
where I live. I'm in a condo. Every condo that sells, it's Asian. I don't have a problem with them, though. I get along with them
But I would
great.
like to pattern their pocketbook methodology.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny.
The work ethic and
I
the
have a Chinese
desire.
kid that's lived with me for 4 years. And it's funny, he has one container he eats from, one pot he uses. He has one set of chopsticks, one spoon, one fork. And it's a trip because he
That's all
never
he
gets
needs.
sick. He takes herbs, but he doesn't live like we live, where we think we need all these things. And it cracks you up because for 4 years I've watched him use that same container. He puts it in the microwave if he's going to do it that way, and then if he's going to cook it, he puts everything, his whatever, it all goes in one pot with water or whatever he's going to use. He mixes it up. Like people think Chinese eat only fried rice. He doesn't even hardly ever eat rice or fried food. So it kind of cracks you up because even when you go to their countries, you'll see stores that are just little tiny.
Yeah.
But here, it's always got to be on the big level.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
just the
American
culture.
way, yeah,
That's our
yeah.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 10 billion people put into
Yeah.
a square mile radius,
you
and
don't
you'll
have
have
the
one
luxury.
fork too.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But you know,
It is
we have
even-
one person living in a 3-bedroom house here.
That's right.
You know,
That's
so
right.
But it isn't even that. It's just watching him. I
Yeah.
watch how he does stuff.
and he's content.
He
doesn't-
very
yeah.
content.
Yeah.
And
Very content.
I can
That's
appreciate
the
that.
environment he was brought up in, and that's normal. So, okay, we're going to take a quick break here, folks, and come back on the other side and continue our conversation and talk about, the day after Election Day 2016. Everything is still here. Nothing packed up and went away. And it's going to be that way even up through January 20th when Donald Trump becomes officially the president of the United States, unless a meteorite or something comes in and takes the country out of play completely. So we're going to take a quick break. And for those who are on the telephone here, please hold on. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll have you join the conversation here on thepowerofvoices.com.
Attention Las Vegas residents. Olympic Cleaning Services is the company for all your green cleaning needs. Call us now, 866-984-7444. Olympic Cleaning Services specializes in residential, commercial, construction, move-in, move-out, carpet cleaning, auto detailing, and we also provide emergency services when you need it. Call us now, 866-984-7444. For all first-time customers, you'll receive 15% off. Call us now, 866-984-7444, or go to OlympicCleaningservices.com. Go green today.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me.
Visit the secret panda village?
Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly golf.
Awesome!
Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The phones are now open. 424-227-9461. Call in and let your voice be heard. Compelling, stimulating, thought-provoking. There's no better way to spend your lunch break. The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio at thepowerofvoices.com.
Here's my number.
All right. Thank you for hanging in there. Welcome back to the Lee Michaels Show with Lee and Carol. And thank you for Tamara Daniels, who has a show here on The Power of Voices as well. It's called Families from Crisis to what? Healing. My hand on your head and heal you. And half of America needs healing. For all of those who did not vote for Donald J. Trump. Wait a minute. Let me turn your mic on. Yeah.
You want to hear what a lot of young people are saying?
What are they saying?
Why do they want us to have 5.5 years of experience when we apply for a job if you can run a country without having any experience? And, these young
Good
people
question.
are right.
Yeah, good question. I
They're
like that.
definitely right.
There's something to say about that. Thank you to Drea, Carol Carper, Colleen, Johnny Peppers. Hey, what's up, Johnny? And, of course, Frankie, Charles Arrington, Mina, Jesse Torrero. Hey, Jesse, I know I owe you $200. I lost, damn it. Now you're going to put me in the poorhouse. George Apollo, haven't heard from you, but I see you in the room. Of course, my baby girl, Sarah, checked in earlier. Lon McHugh, what's up, Lon? Chris Bass. Art, what's up? I know you are smiling ear to ear because your boy won. Michelle Hoskins, what's up, Michelle? Edna and Roshan Vance and others that have come into Facebook today. I have not had a chance to acknowledge you. I apologize, but the conversation has been intense. And we're going to go to the phone, and we've got a couple of calls here. On line one, welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol. Who do we have? Nobody.
It's a breather.
Okay, what about on line two here? Hello?
It's another breather.
I guess they couldn't hold on. All right.
You know how you get those breathers?
Yep. 424-227-9461 if you want to chime in. The question today is, how are you feeling? The outcome of the presidential election. What does it mean to you? Are you upset? Are you happy? Did you vote for Donald or did you vote for Hillary? Now, I had a conversation this morning with a young millennial that said she voted for none of them. She voted for Stein because she didn't like either candidate.
Well,
But
she might as well voted for Trump then because they were two of the same.
That's what I said to her. So your vote was against the two of them, but you know damn well you had no chance in the candidate that you voted for to win. There's no chance. Zero. And even if she won, she would catch hell as the president because there are no Green Party congressional members. None. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. Hello. What is wrong with our phone system today? Is it our phones or the lines or what? The phone rings and nobody says anything. That's Mondo Bizarro. I don't know if you can hear me. I apologize, but you're not coming through to me. So I'm not sure what's going on with the phones today. Are you there? No voice. No voice. Sorry. Something is up with our phone system today. And I'm not sure what it is. The phone rings. I answer the phone, and nobody's there. Can't get through. I was also waiting for a guest, Andre Eglishin, and I'm going to try giving him a call. See if I can get him on the line here. Okay. You see, folks, the phone lines are working. We got a dial tone. So let me call Andre up here and see if I can get him.
So I wonder if those were just breathers.
Those are the
new
same
word when they call you and they go, oh.
Those are the same people that voted for Donald Trump, the silent majority.
Well, there must be a lot of them because I get it all the time, the breathers.
Yeah, they're out there. All right, let me see if I can get Andre on the phone here.
We should have breathed back. Remember we had that Italian food with that garlic?
Yeah, that's true. Let me pull his number up here. Well, folks, we have a new president. It may not have been the person that you wanted to see in the White House, but Donald Trump is going to be your new president. So we have to embrace that fact. And I have voted for people that didn't win in the past. I didn't lose my job. My family didn't pack up and leave me. The dog didn't bite me in the ass.
And we do have to.
Life moves on.
We do have to stay America, and whether we like him or not, we have to see if he can bring change.
Right.
Or we're going to hurt America.
Well, we have no choice but to give him an opportunity.
That's right. Otherwise, we're going to look like idiots to everybody. And maybe that's what other countries, want to see.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of things he just said to get certain votes. And he did get those votes from those kind of people.
Well, I'll say this.
Because she was right when she said that about pro-life. Mm-hmm. They do say that every time. And I know a lot of people that only voted because of that. But they didn't care that he went out and he's raped women.
Hello, welcome to the show. Something's wrong. Okay, I'm calling Andre on this line.
Yeah.
Andre.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh, well,
for some reason, our phones have been a little jacked up here. I can call out, but people are calling in, and we're not hearing. Actually, let me call you back on another line. This line seems to be dirty.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's do that again here. Crazy today. That damn Trump jacked us up, man. He's got my lines all messed up. But if I was a comedian,
I think probably the phones are going crazy today.
If I was a comedian, I'd be a happy camper right now because there's going to be a ton of material to do on this dude. Like the comedians like to do jokes on the president.
This is funny what Drew Carey said. He said, "Welcome to America, where we will spend $2 billion on an election, but we can't afford to give everyone free health care."
Right. Good point. I like that in you. All right. Keep talking here while I get Andre on. I don't know why it's so
Did you want me to
today.
keep talking?
Yeah, talk about something.
What do you want me to talk about?
Whatever you want. It's the Lee and Carol show. So whatever you want to talk about is fine with me.
I know I was pretty upset in the middle of the night, but when I woke up, I told myself I felt a little relieved because I've been so tense waiting to see who was going to win. And it did seem like it took something off my chest that's just, I have been really depressed over a lot of things, but mainly this. And it's something I now have to accept because he is going to be there for 4 years. So I can only hope that a lot of stuff he said, he was just saying to get votes.
Well, and see, but that's what bothers me. If that's what you have to do to get people engaged in voting through fear and telling lies, that's a sad state of our country.
Yeah, but you know what we need to
mindset.
do? They say we should feed our anger, mourn, pray, and then do everything we can to fight hate together. And that's real. We have to. Because if we sit and separate all ourselves, we're not going to be good for anybody.
Yeah.
Are we still out?
No, it seems like, okay, now that line is working. Let's try it again here, folks. I apologize.
Yeah,
Bear with me
I'm
here.
surprised that Paula didn't call in.
He's probably sitting out in the backyard getting drunk or smoking a joint. You never know with Apollo. Now his line is busy. What the heck? If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all.
One good thing that came out of it is Arizona. That Sheriff Joe Arapio, he lost, and he is so
No
racist.
shit.
He lost. So
Oh,
people
my
are very
God.
happy that he lost.
Welcome to the show. Something is up with that first line, folks. I don't know what it is.
Maybe if they give the number, you can call them back.
Yeah, there is a number I see here. See if I can call this person back. Oh, they hung up before I could write it down. It's gone. Oh, well. I don't know what's going on with the phones today, folks. But obviously, these damn Republicans don't want us to talk.
Well, aren't you kind of happy about in Arizona? He's the one that felt he could
Joe
racial
Arpaio.
profile Mexicans.
Yeah.
And now, one thing I don't like about Trump, and I don't know if he really plans on doing this, that they can just stop a person of color or anybody if they want for no reason.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But then we can always take up petitions, which they have to pay attention to.
Hello, thank you for calling. Yeah, it's something's wrong with that line. I have to get Spectrum, formerly known as Time
Well,
Warner.
maybe if they put their number on the screen, you can call them back.
They did. I'm trying to do that. And we'll get it going here in a second. But I wanted to get Andre on first because he was supposed to call in at 10:05 this morning. But I'll tell you, folks, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to give our president-elect the chance to be the president. Unlike when Obama came into office, there were people that immediately attacked him. The Congress did not support him. First 2 years, he had the majority, and he got a lot done in those first 2 years. And when I get Andre Egliston on, that's one of the things I want to talk to him about. And he'll tie in the difference between this election and the election in 2008 and 2012. Right? And
You
there are
know, the
people who
South
think they're
lost the
better
war,
than others.
so you'd probably lose it again.
Well, that's true too. And I hope that any red-blooded American would not see life that way in 2016. Those things are done. They're gone. They're over with. And it's not going to ever come back. You know, that whole phrase of take back America, making America great again. All of that means is let's go back to when it was comfortable for me. Okay? I don't care about you, but when I was in power and in control, that's what I'm comfortable with. And that's what that means. The subliminal effect of that is I'm not comfortable with the way things are. I want it to go back to when I was in control.
I'm going to break in a minute. It just happened. The sheriffs in Standing Rock, they have pulled away. They refuse to support what this pipeline's trying to do. They said it's unethical. So now the police have walked away.
Excellent.
Which is great.
Excellent.
Now get rid of those people you hired that are so violent.
Well, that's a win. That's a big win.
It's a big win.
Absolutely. And to my fellow Native Americans, my spirit, my prayers, my support are with you 100% because you standing up against big business trying to bring a pipeline through your land for their gain, even if they're going to pay you. Your principles I respect. And standing up for let's not pollute our water, our land, because that's all we have. And as my partner has said over and over again, we can't live without water, good, clean water, but we can live without oil. So let's put our priorities in order. Let's support the Native Americans up in the Dakotas and Montana and wherever we have painted them into a corner.
I think we need to
Shameful.
support stopping these pipelines. I'm sorry.
Well, I agree with you.
Oklahoma's had 2 5-point-something earthquakes, last week?
That's
because
right.
of the fracking. So.
That's right. So here's the thing, folks. That train left the depot years ago before Obama got elected. He stood up against it. He campaigned against the pipeline. Big business, the lobbyists, again, the criminals, the thugs, that control our Congress, House and Senate, they're bought and paid for, most of them. That crap needs to change. A lot of you voted for Trump because you believed that he was going to bring about that kind of change. Well, I'm not convinced he's the guy for the job, but okay, that's who you voted for. I don't think that Congress is going to work with him because he's not one of them. And he's trying to, as he says, drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. Good luck. I agree with you, Mr. Trump. That needs to change.
Do we have anybody from North Carolina that calls in?
Yeah, we do. George.
I see
Apollo.
something where they're saying that the KKK has been marching, is on a bridge with guns and that in North Carolina, where the police have went to.
See, this is the kind of hate that has been stirred up in this election.
Take those hat things off and show yourself.
Yeah, they're cowards. They're cowards. What's up, Tyrone Davis? Thank you for tuning in, my man. 424-227-9461 is our number. We have been having some phone line problems. You know, we're an internet-based station, and there are times when the lines go down. Okay, maybe with this will work now. Welcome to the show. Who do we have? Hello? That is so crazy.
I hear static.
Static, yeah.
At least it's not breathing.
Maybe they are. Okay. All right. Phones are dead today. I got to get the phone company out here again. I could go and reboot everything in the telephone room, but it will take us off the air probably. But you know what? Let me try that. I'm going to take a break here and come back. Let me check out these phone lines. See if we can't get this thing to work, okay? So hang in there. We'll take a break and try to fix the phone lines. 424-227-9461 are the numbers to call. But give me about 5 minutes and we'll see if it works.
Attention Las Vegas residents. Olympic Cleaning Services is the company for all your green cleaning needs. Call us now, 866-984-7444. Olympic Cleaning Services specializes in residential, commercial, construction, move-in, move-out, carpet cleaning, auto detailing, and we also provide emergency services when you need it. Call us now, 866-984-7444. For all first-time customers, you'll receive 15% off. Call us now, 866-984-7444, or go to OlympicCleaningservices.com. Go green today.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzzed driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right?
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
My name is Dale Pazinski, and this is how I live United. I volunteer with United Way, helping the homeless in my community by teaching computer skills and helping them build a basic resume to save on their very own USB drive. It's huge when somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
The phones are now open. 424-227-9461. Call in and let your voice be heard. Compelling, stimulating, thought-provoking. There's no better way to spend your lunch break. The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio at thepowerofvoices.com.
Welcome back to the Lee Michaels Show on the powerofvoices.com with Carol, and we're alive the day after the election day, and it didn't come out the way we hoped, but
I don't think I'm on. I don't know. Am I on?
Sure you're on.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? You're on.
I don't know if I can hear you through here.
You always have those problems, and I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute. There you go. I did turn that down.
Thank
you. Welcome back to the show. Our phone lines are now working. I had to go in and restart the phone system. And on the phone with us, we got Frankie and Andre. Andre, welcome to the show. Andre? Oh, wait a minute. Now, Andre is on.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
is
buddy.
This the Hunter?
Yeah, that's Andre from Florida, the state that voted, made the president, our new president, the new president. What the hell's wrong with the people down there, man?
Man, I stayed up till about 2 o'clock in the morning. When I realized which way it was going to go, I ain't felt that sick since I ate a half-done squirrel back in 1979.
A half-done squirrel?
A half-done squirrel back in 1979. I was sick to my stomach. Yeah, it was messed up, man. You know, it's messed up.
So give me your analysis. What happened in Florida?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton failed to reach the folks that President Obama reached. You know, I mean, I think that's pretty clear. You know, President Obama was able to make a rock-solid constituency out of African Americans, Latinos, and a lot of white folks voted for President Obama. Hillary Clinton failed to reach those constituencies. She was in my opinion, probably not the best candidate. But then that's not to take anything away from Donald Trump as well. Donald Trump crushed two political dynasties, the Bush dynasty and the Clinton dynasty. He crushed them. And, you know, he's an unconventional candidate, but he made a whole lot of promises, man. And I really don't see how he's going to, you know, make all of these promises. How's he going to fulfill all of these promises? And, you know, the effect that it's going to have on people's pocketbooks, I think, will be sobering. You know, Donald Trump promised that he would cut taxes. Yeah, he's going to cut them for the rich. He's going to cut them for corporations, you know, down to 15%. I think corporate tax rate now is about 35%. Basically, his tax proposal calls for three different tax rates. I think it's 12, 25, and 33%. So it's going to be interesting to see how he pays for these tax cuts, because anytime you cut taxes, of course, you're cutting revenue coming into the federal government.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how he pays for this. I think Bill Clinton has already told us how he's going to pay for it at the 2012 Democratic Convention, when he said, listen, the only thing they're going to do is blow up the deficit like they always do. And they're going to run up the debt, and they're not going to pay for the taxes, for all the tax cuts, which they have vowed to enact. And, you know, the American people keep buying this bovine excrement, man, that tax cuts for the wealthy translates into jobs being created here in the United States. Well, we saw what happened under George W. Bush, under Ronald Reagan as well. We saw, you know, them offshore a lot of industry, outsource a lot of jobs. I think we can look for, you know, pretty much the same thing. You know, speaking of jobs, he's talking about, you know, he's going to bring back these jobs from Mexico. He's going to bring back jobs from China. And
is that possible, Andre? Is it possible?
No, it's not possible. Well, he would have to slash corporate tax rates in this country to the point that and roll back a lot of regulations, which is what he also said he's going to do. And then the logistics of bringing those jobs back would take, you know, several years if it was, you know, put forth at an expedited pace.
Mm-hmm.
It would have some impact on Wall Street, on the stock market, but you know,
in a good way or a bad way.
That remains to be seen. I mean, I don't want to make any calls on the stock market right now because, you know, Donald Trump is coming in. He's bringing in a whole lot of uncertainty, but the stock market seems to be shrugging that off, at least today. I think the stock market is stomachs were settled as they saw the sentiment of Trump's opposition, the Clinton campaign, and Democrats saying, "Okay, well, you won fair and square. Let's go ahead and work together." So there's no anxiety on Wall Street over a peaceful transfer of power.
Right.
But when you look at what Donald Trump is proposing, with renegotiating or either just flat out scrapping these trade deals, I mean, that could end up triggering, you know, a wider spread conflict outside of a trade war. I mean, people don't want and cannot afford to have their economies turned upside down and to absorb those shock waves coming from, you know, a misguided policy coming from the United States of America. If there's anything that could trigger war between us and some of our major trading partners, heaven forbid China, I mean, that could probably do it. But, you know, all of the experts out there that have looked at Trump's plan, you know, his plan has never been fully verified and vetted by a lot of independent sources.
Or more importantly, articulated. We still don't know exactly what he ran on other than some headlines. I'm going to build a wall, and I'm going to get rid of all the illegals and stuff like that. But what's the process? You know,
Republicans claim to be fiscally responsible. They're all about fiscal responsibility. But it is not fiscally responsible to establish and grow government, geometrically by creating some immigration task force to send these folks back home, deport 11 million people. That's going to cost a fortune,
right,
which America does not have right now. Not to mention that, build a wall. You're saying Mexico's going to pay for it. Mexico's already said, well, we're going to work with them, but they haven't confirmed that they're going to pay for any wall. The United States would have to fund that, and that's where Congress would come in. Trump is an outsider, and it remains to be seen whether or not they're going to try to ride with him on this.
Right.
But the onus now is on the Republican Party. They got both. They got the House, the Senate. The Supreme Court is going to be remade in their ideological makeup. They got everything, and Janet Yellen is, I think, a little bit more liberal in her political view and in her economic view than Ben Bernanke was. But the Federal Reserve, like the FBI and all these other institutions, they are inherently political anyway. But, and then Trump's jabs at Janet Yellen are problematic. Wall Street is not going to take lightly to that because everybody wants the money machine to be, up and functioning. But I think the bottom line, going back to what I was saying originally, the effect that Donald Trump is going to have on folks' wallets, I think if the experts are right, is going to be so adverse that he'll probably end up being a one-term president.
All right. Now, I'm just pulling up some numbers here. In 2008, there were 130 million votes cast in the presidential election. 2012 was 126 million. And it's about 120 million in 2016. What's your read on that? So we're 10 million down from 2008.
Right. Well, Barack Obama was a unique individual, as he was an historic individual, in that this is a man who was an intellectual giant. He has a silver tongue. He's one of the best orators I've ever heard since Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's just the historic nature of his candidacy, him being the first black president, that mobilized a lot of minorities and people who were otherwise young folks, the millennials at that time, the young folks at that time, to get engaged in the political process. And they were pretty, what word am I looking for? They were excited about it. They wanted to be in it. So Hillary Clinton, does not generate the kind of excitement. Granted, her candidacy was a historic candidacy, the first female ever to win a major party's nomination for the presidency. But it pales in comparison to Barack Obama because she couldn't deliver the goods on the stump. Number one, there's so much baggage surrounding Hillary Clinton with the issues of trustworthiness. She's been the target of attacks for 30 years by the political right. Ever since you made the Tammy Wynette remark, I'm not going to stand by my man like some Tammy Wynette, that upset a lot of people because they wanted her to really throw Bill Clinton under the bus, file for divorce, and destroy his presidency. That didn't happen. So Hillary Clinton just cannot generate the kind of excitement and the enthusiasm and get people engaged the way President Obama could, both for the historic aspects of President Obama's candidacy, and that also President Obama was looked at as a true change agent. He was somebody from the outside. So this is 2 elections in a row, actually 3, wherein the American people said, listen, we want change. We're sick and tired of Washington, D.C. We want to go in a different direction. Obama represented that change. Hillary does not. She represents the status quo. She's been there for 30 years. So, there were a lot of forces. I don't think you put your finger on any one reason.
Do you think
America has it?
You think the fact that she's a
aversion?
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
America has a natural aversion to dynasties anyway. But that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead.
What the female factor? Do you think that there's still a lot of males who are just not willing to wrap their arms around a female president?
Oh, yeah, there's some of that. No question about it. I mean, it's just human nature. There's definitely some of that afoot here. I don't think that alone ended up with this gigantic surprise we got this morning. I don't think that alone was the cause of it. But nonetheless, I mean, it did play a factor. I think there were a lot of factors that converged at once on Hillary Clinton's candidacy to sink her. I think Joe Biden would have probably did better. He probably would have won. Bernie Sanders would have probably done better, arguably, in that he would have gotten a larger turnout of young people.
Right.
Joe Biden would have been able to get a lot of the white, working class, blue collar votes that Hillary Clinton just was not able to get. So in the final analysis, I think that she was just too flawed of a candidate, someone that was overexposed, someone that was, the subject of just too much consternation over the last 20 years anyway.
I'm looking at the numbers. You know me, I'm a guy that lives by the numbers, and I see 6 million less people voted this time than 2012. Right. That's part of the problem. People were not excited and engaged and committed to supporting her. And then when you look at the what's his name, Johnson, he took away 2 points, 2.5 points, almost 3 points, and a little over 3 in some states. So that factor also kicked in. That and the combination of the great level of distrust, dislike to all the candidates. We really had a bad group of people to pick from. I just couldn't. In my personal situation, I could not support Donald Trump because he scared me. Anytime a man stands up on the podium and makes some of the remarks that he made, and now he's talking about unifying, and I mean, how hypocritical. I mean, you can't be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think the guy we saw on the campaign trail was 100% who he truly is. And the history is there. It goes all the way back to the 70s when he took over his dad's company. And they were charged by the federal government for mistreating minorities coming to rent properties. He was fined for that, found guilty. Now, you go from being a racist, discriminating against people in housing to a nice guy all of a sudden, and then the 4,000 plus lawsuits that he's been in, and probably 2,000 or 3,000 of them are still on the bench right now. And then the alleged 12 or so women that came out and said he groped them and did sexual favors and what have you. And then the alleged rape of a 13-year-old 21 years ago. And then this young lady that filed the charge then dropped the charges because of death threats. What part of this makes you think this guy is okay? Now, we had a guest on the show earlier saying that, well, nobody gets this far without, having some dirt on their hands. But that kind of dirt I can't live with. No.
If Michelle Obama had taken pictures like a stripper, the way Melania's pictures were posted all over the internet, there's no way in the world she would have gotten to be the first lady of the United States. So, Trump's supporters are hypocritical. There's no question about that. I mean, for evangelical Christians to go for Trump by a margin of 80% in favor of Donald Trump, it speaks of their hypocrisy. But
totally,
on a more, Donald Trump looked at the strategy of this whole thing. He knew he had to take the Rust Belt, and when you look at Detroit right now, I've watched a couple documentaries that are on cable TV about Detroit. Man, that place looks like a nuke was dropped on it, and I quoted the numbers about Detroit and a lot of those Rust Belt towns, Canton, Ohio, Gary, Indiana, Detroit, all those Rust Belt towns that were devastated by offshoring of industry and outsourcing of their jobs. I've quoted those numbers for years, but when you look at it and you see it for yourself, I've said for years, I've rattled out the numbers. 60% of Detroit's industrial infrastructure is now in shutters and behind barbed wire fences. But when you look at it and get a chance to see it, man, the Packard plant in Detroit, and you contrast to how it used to look, folks are looking for somebody to blame for that. Now, they know that Bill Clinton was instrumental. He brought forth NAFTA, signed it into law, supported by Hillary Clinton. So those folks in the Rust Belt are blaming the Clintons for really a paradigm that was established long before even World War II got started.
Right.
We knew at that particular point that we wanted to yoke and harness the labor and natural resources of foreign governments. They created the national security state apparatus, went around the world labeling countries communist, and overthrew those governments. And we did it in 1953 in Iran. We overthrew Mossadegh. We brought in, and that was basically so the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, which is now BP, British Petroleum, could go in there and pretty much have providence over the oil, the resources there. We did the same thing to Hurtado Arbenz in Guatemala in 1954. It's called the man a communist, implemented a coup d'etat, and got him out of power. We did the same thing to Allende in Chile. The CIA created counterfeit mobs, sent them down there, got them out of power. And the net result, the ultimate goal behind all of those operations, which entailed the use of police actions, peacekeeping missions, low-intensity conflicts, and in some cases, covert warfare conducted by the CIA, as was the case in Nicaragua under Ronald Reagan. The ultimate goal was to commandeer those folks' natural resources. And that's when the United Fruit Company went down into Chile and into Colombia and Guatemala and all these countries. Now you got everybody down there, ConAgra, Archer Daniels Midland. All of those big agribusinesses have gone down there, privatized those people's lands. The IMF have made debt slaves out of them. If you don't continue to allow these corporations, in other words, if you don't continue to allow these corporations to have private access to your land, your water, and your air, your natural resources, then your whole Lenin agreement is off. You know, so and that's what has happened. So to blame the outsourcing, this whole policy of shifting America's labor away from American labor into labor from abroad, was the die was cast for that as soon as World War II ended. Actually, the plans were cooked up before World War II even got started. So to put all that blame on the Clintons is folly, because you still have not blamed the appropriate people and the appropriate forces that brought about all these great changes throughout the Rust Belt. So if you don't identify what the problem is, there's no way you're going to ever be able to fix the problem. The Clintons didn't do that. They happened to be in the White House when it was time to put all of this stuff into effect. Like Reagan does not deserve credit alone and by himself for bringing down the Soviet Union. I just don't give him credit for 40 years worth of Cold War activity that helped to weaken and
he just happened to be in the seat when it happened.
In the White House at that time.
Exactly. Now, I'm just getting reports.
Dumbass folks up there in the Rust Belt will know that, so they just gonna blame Hillary.
That's right. Now, I'm getting
everywhere.
reports.
It's New York.
I'm getting reports that people are taking to the streets protesting.
And kids at high school by Berkeley, they've all walked out. This is the millennium kids. These kids are going to be like they were years ago. They're going to protest. They're not going to sit back. You should see all the people
on that,
here.
Andre? Is that the appropriate thing to do?
This is everywhere now.
Well, I expect that, but in the final analysis, it's not going to change anything. Come January 20th, Donald Trump will take the oath of office and deliver his inaugural address, and he will be handed the keys to the White House. The orderly transition of power since George Washington has been, the established paradigm in this country. And we're not going to go from regime to regime through revolution, but through the peaceful political process. So they should be allowed to protest. They should be allowed to, because that's their constitutional right. But at the same time, they had better understand the America that we're living in now, Trump's America, wherein he's talking about rolling back every regulation that President Obama had pushed for and got signed into law, either through executive action or through congressional cooperation. He's going to roll them all back. Our land, our water. I mean, we're going to increase the usage of coal. We're going to increasingly pollute our atmosphere. Climate change is going to be exacerbated by all of this.
Well, we only got a few minutes left. I hate to cut you off, but and I apologize for not getting in earlier because I really wanted to have you on, and maybe we can take this up tomorrow. But Obamacare. Oh, okay. Obamacare. Will he be successful in repealing it, and will he replace it with something, or will it just be deleted?
He can repeal Obamacare. He can legally do that with the stroke of a pen. He can simply establish an executive order which will do it. However, it has become somewhat entrenched into the system. I don't think they're going to repeal every single tenet of Obamacare, but a lot of it is going to be scrapped. Make no mistake about it. And the reason why he can do it, because they have clear majorities in the Senate and in the House.
Right.
And, and he's got a Supreme Court now, or he'll have a Supreme Court by the time they finish that process. He'll
That's
have
a
a Supreme
devastating
Court
part
that's
to
going to
me.
be sympathetic.
Yes. Wow. Well, Andre Eggleston, who is a talk show host based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Broward County. And Broward almost pulled it off for Hillary, but ran a bit short. And the other predominantly heavy Democratic counties there in Florida. But hey, folks, 2 years from now, 2 years from yesterday, you will have an opportunity to change the complexion, if you will, of the House and the Senate. Do not sit home on your fat American ass and not show up to vote. This is where you can bring about change. Okay, the President of the United States can't do very much without the support and endorsement and the votes from the House and the Senate. If you didn't learn that in high school, junior high school, or college, I'm sorry you missed out. But thank you again, Andre, for being a part of the show. And Frankie, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. But tomorrow, 10 a.m. right here on The Power of Voices, we'll do it all over again. Thank you so much for listening. God bless America. The sun will continue to rise. The sun will continue to set. You will still have your family, your jobs. Don't stop being Americans. But don't go for the okie doke either. Know your power, know your rights, stand up, be counted. And don't let another election come around and you sit on your ass and not vote. 6 million less did not vote this time from 2012. 10 million less than in 2008. That, my friend, is the difference. Have a great day. Peace be with you.